All right, hello and welcome. And we are doing something a little bit different with myself, Sophie,
Me, Alex.
And it's me, Dan.
and we're going to talk about Dropzone today, specifically Alex. Well, we as a channel ran a tournament, but it's Alex pretty much did a lot of the legwork. So Alex is going to talk us through basically how we prepared for the event, what
Traitor, boo.
Yes, boo, boo, hiss, boo. Yeah,
I
as
have
Sophie
no
said,
regrets.
get you next time. Sophie said, we're just off the back of Danger Close 2, which was the third Drop Zone tournament I've run. Because the first one had a different name. Danger Close 2, which we ran at Firestorm Games in Cardiff, South Wales. It was a lot of fun. So we had in total 12 players turn up. It was a format that I've done once before and refined for this one, where every single table had a bespoke set of terrain. So one board was a moon base, one board was the monorail table, one board had a huge orbital laser which you had to capture and fire at the enemy fleet. And then every table, every board had its own bespoke mission to go with it. So you were guaranteed to play 3 completely different missions, but also probably different missions to most other people. It was a little bit chaotic to try and organise, as my horrible Frankenstein's monster of a spreadsheet broke halfway through the event, trying to make sure everyone went to the right tables. But I think it more or less worked out. Yeah, it went really well. There'll be some photos, probably lots of photos as we talk of the various boards we set up. Most of them were by me. I think I did pretty much 3, pretty much from scratch. Dan Seymour brought along a board for us, and Charles also provided a board, so we had lots of variety. Well, we had variety in the boards. We didn't have variety in factions, weirdly. As I
Yeah.
said, we had 12 players.
How many
Sorry.
UCM players?
0. There were no UCM players at all, which I find slightly offensive.
How many were at Drop Fleet, Soph?
So in contrast to Drop Fleet, there were actually, instead of 0 players, there were none.
Ah, right.
Yes. So no UCM players at all over the event, which I thought, it was a noticeable absence.
Very weird.
With
Yeah.
nearly 30 people, but it must be over 30 people because we had what?
We had 12. How many players was the Drop Fleet event, Soph?
I think there was supposed to be 10, but event on the day there was actually 8
Oh, okay.
players. Yeah.
So 20 players, not a single UCM player.
Oof.
Oh, the dream.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
you
for
know
the
what?
Drop
I didn't
Zone.
miss them.
Ouch. I brought mine along. I just didn't get to play
Yeah,
because
you get what you deserve.
odd number. Yeah, that's fair. I think in the Drop Zone tournament we had 4 Shaltari players as well.
Boo, here's boo.
I know.
Would
We
have
had
rather they
2
stayed at home, not
PHR.
UCM.
Just honestly, just all of them other than PHR would be nice.
Yeah, just PHR and maybe some resistance turned up.
Yeah, we actually had quite a lot of resistance. Last event we had 0 resistance. For this one we had 3, I think.
I've still never played against resistance.
Have you not?
Never.
I will have to make sure you get to play against them at the next event. Or play Sophie. I hear she plays resistance when she's not in the clouds.
No, I refuse.
But yeah, despite the weird lineup of factions, we had a quite diverse set of lists. I think we had one resistance player brought along, was it 1 or 2 of the really big hovercraft? Dan, you bought 2 Tiamats in your PHR list, I think.
Yeah, small tier, that's more better.
There were no behemoths, which was surprising. 2 Scourge lists running Whoopsall Worms, which was horrendous. Everyone involved.
Mainly the players.
But yes, they had to then try and keep track of which worms came from which corruptor. But yeah, it went really well. I mean, Dan, you obviously played. You didn't just play; you repainted your army, if memory serves.
Yeah, the day before, I put my list together, and then the day before I was packing it and went, I don't like the look of this. This looks stupid and horrible, and some of them don't match. I'm going to repaint them. And so I did.
We got a message on Discord from you at about 6 in the evening saying just reprimed my army. It worked. Again, there'll be photos of the models. The new color scheme is quite nice.
It's much nicer.
Yeah. Was it
Oh,
inspired by anything in particular?
Not being the old one that wasn't very good.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think it really pops on the table. Actually, I could see it from a mile off, and yeah, I was very surprised to learn it was yours.
Yeah, I think you did walk past and said, "Oh, these are nice PHR. Who are they?" Mine. So
Obviously not Dan's.
not the third person to say that.
Yeah. What else was there? We had people come from quite a ways away. Most of the player base was our local group from Bristol that we've kind of built together as the Dropzone community. But we had a couple of guys come from I can't remember where they're from. Swindon, I think it was.
Yeah, Swindon for Tom.
Yeah. So yeah, Tom and Rob came down from Swindon. They're from Tom's Tabletop Bunker, another YouTube channel that's just started doing a few Dropzone events, Dropzone videos even. It was nice to meet some other people who some other content creators, possibly the only other ones in the country. But yes, they brought down a Scourge and a Resistance army. Rob did take home Best Painted Army with his Resistance, which was very deserved. They were absolutely lovely. We had Andy come all the way from Manchester, which is really quite a ways to go for a one-day tournament. He again brought Resistance. He had a lot of fun as well. What else is there to go over? Dan, how did you do for the event? Where did you place in the end?
I came third, but I think the most important thing is I made Loz not win.
He can bleed.
Yes.
And it turns out if I'd been reading my sheets properly, I might have won.
What did you get wrong again? Did you just forget your passives or something?
Yeah, halfway through the third game, I realised that my Lockheedras had a 5-up passive.
Right. Oh well.
Both of them got one-shotted in the first game. I was like, that might have been useful.
But yeah, Loz is the local monster in the Dropzone community. We haven't seen Loz, but you'll have seen his army on our videos. He's lent us his green Shaltari before, which are undefeated on our channel. And until last Saturday, I think Loz was undefeated in a proper game of Dropzone as well.
And
I
in case any of you are wondering, Loz is actually short for lozenge.
yes,
That's
short lozenge is his wrestling.
I thought it was Lozenger. It was just made of tennis balls.
But
So fast.
yes, he has lent us the Shaltari. He is the local bogeyman, the one to beat, and Dan drew with him. So one of us, I think Alex has beaten him with Whoops All Planes, haven't you?
Yeah, it wasn't a sensible game. I played Whips All Planes. He tried out a famous commander, didn't work very well, but I beat him, and that's what matters. But other than that, yes, I don't think he had even drawn a game of Dropzone. Certainly not in memory. So yeah, Dan made him bleed. Didn't quite beat him, but he didn't win the tournament, which is a nice change.
Which is really the greatest victory there could be.
Yes, he did come second, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, he obviously played very well, and he's a very nice person, so we can't really hold it against him too much. And then first place went to Dan Seymour, who we've played against him a couple of times at tournaments. He was playing his lovely PHR army with several, or with a converted Poseidon in it, and he green stuffed the wings, or cast them in green stuff to make it fit the rest of his no longer available Neptunes. So really nice army and really good player, evidently. He was the only person to go 3 for 3 in the entire event. We will, at some point in the fairly near future, we'll be doing a few Patreon articles, because Dan, I'll be sitting down with you and playing the role of war correspondent and asking you, how did it go? What was your list designed to do? Did it do what you wanted it to? How did the different games and matchups go, and so on? And we'll corner Loz and the other Dan and do the same with them to interrogate them about how do you win a drop zone? Because I don't know. I've got no idea how you bring a drop zone.
That'd be useful for you. I see what you're getting
It
the
really
inside scoop. Just keeping all these articles for yourself and how to win it.
Oh yeah. they're only for our highest tier of patrons, you see, which is the Founders Program, which is currently us three.
Yes.
They'll either be free or they'll be for like the nominal whatever the minimum bracket is. I think we asked like £1 or something. Either way, they'll be going up at some point fairly soon. What else? It was a lovely place to play our games. Firestorm Games, for anyone who's not been, and anyone who is in the UK or certainly Southwest, you really should. It's basically hobby mecca or non-Warhammer games, non-Warhammer Warhammer world. Really nice venue, lovely food, lovely people, air conditioning, which is
Very
definitely
nice.
relevant. Yeah. And they also sell Dropzone over the counter, which is very dangerous.
The problem with
Yeah.
buying over counter is you can't use our affiliate link.
That's true. That's a good segue, Dan. Do you want to carry?
And speaking of our affiliate link, check in the description below, where you can get
Yes.
the same stuff, but give some money to us instead.
Yes.
Which we very much appreciate.
Absolutely. Sophie, how did the Drop Fleet event go? I did float over occasionally to take some photos, admire the armies.
So the drop fleet was a lot of fun. And locally, so I'll give a little bit of context. So locally, we are still building up that drop fleet. So a lot of the drop zone players that we've all mentioned, for those who are regular visitors to the channel, you will notice their names crop up regularly. These are our local group that we've sort of cultivated in Bristol. Of course, now they've all seen a drop fleet event, and they will be wanting to play some more drop fleet. But for me, it was really an opportunity to actually play a different variety of people, play people I'd never played before, and that's exactly what I got out of it. So I'll go through my games. Game one, I was against PHR, and there were a spread of fleets. I think there was 2 resistance players, 3 Scourge players, and 3 PHR.
Yeah, no
So
Shaltari either, were there?
no Shaltari, no. So my first game against PHR, they're tough ships, but they're not. What makes them tough is there's this little Death Star of +1 lock values. So you try and hit something on 2s, and then you end up hitting it on 4s, and then inevitably you're never hitting it on 2s. And then you can't really get those crits through. So that's kind of what I came up against, and we got to turn. So for those of you who don't play Drop Fleet, you generally score on turn 4 and turn 6. So we scored on turn 4. I dropped a load on the drop zones, and I got a mega score. We actually ran out of time at the end of round 5, which meant I won the game. And I won
Because there was
quite.
no more
Yeah,
drop phase. Okay.
yeah. So if we went on to turn 6, I probably would have lost, because I didn't have much fleet left. So I won that game, and I won it decisively enough that actually my game 2, I was on top table,
Hmm.
made the top table. But that's where that's where I got what I deserved. I was against a chap called Bryn was my first game. All the opponents lovely. The whole vibe is always lovely in these events. So everyone who I met, just a lovely shout out to everyone. Great to meet you. Great to chat with you. But yes, Luke has been playing pretty much since the game's inception. He knew Drop Fleet like the back of his hand, and that for a newer player is really nice to play against someone who's sure of the rules, because
Right.
you're not constantly looking up edge cases. Oh, how is this worded? Oh, I can't remember how these bombers work, or something stupid, because he knew, and that was quite nice. I made a load of tactical errors here. I made so many, but it was nice to see. It was nice to play against again PHR, a sort of similar list, and yes, I got my I was completely destroyed. just utterly gone. Then my third game was against Scourge, and this was a much more back and forth game. I think I was laying down some punches. I was destroying ships. I think in my second game I destroyed like 3 frigates, and then I got completely wiped. It was I was annihilated. But in this third game, as the Scourge were a little bit weaker. Again, never played the Scourge before, and that's the treat. Thoroughly good game. Again, my opponent's list really good. Had stuff sat in atmosphere, just popping shots up, with escape velocity, and it was really working. And I did lose that one quite decisively, but there was some nice back and forth. So overall, I didn't do that strongly in the tables. I came 6th out of 8th, so sort of towards the lower end. But do you know what? I think I don't think I've even reached 10 games of Drop Fleet.
I was about to ask you still on single digits because you can't have played that much.
No, I haven't, and I've only played UCM.
Sure.
And so the two people who I've sort of practiced against both had identical fleets. So I know how to play that one fleet.
Nice.
And there is much of Drop Zone Drop Fleet that's still a bit of an anathema to me. And I'm kind of looking at my list and going, right, what can I buy? What am I going to buy? And the answer is loads more ships. But this leads us on to the release dates for Drop Fleet 2, which is, I think, what a lot of people are hanging on to, because this has it now been confirmed?
Sort of. Only in that. So the event you went to was Weapons Free 3.
Yes.
Which is a massive missed opportunity for a funny name. But you went to Weapons Free 3.
Yes.
And Gareth the TO has already organised Weapons Free 4, which I believe he's set for the 28th of September, he said confidently.
Mhm.
And he said in his event pack that it has been confirmed that second edition and the the
Triangles.
There we go. Yeah, the
triangles
will be out by then. And it's specifically an event for learning how to play Drop Fleet as well. So it's going to be jumping in feet first with second edition, I think is the intent. So unless he's talking nonsense, which I don't think he is, because he's a Heathy agent, he's got the inside scoop. Yes, September.
Yes. So I think these two, certainly on the channel, you guys. I know, Alex, you've got a fleet in a box.
Yeah, it just keeps getting kicked down the down the road of the thing to do anything. I'm so annoyed I've got it, actually, because a whole bunch of ships coming out in plastic, and most of these are resin, but oh well.
Yeah, they're still ships.
They're still ships. They're still
So,
ships. They're absolutely fine.
Not if you crash them.
So I'm kind of like these guys, where it's sure I kind of know what I need for Drop Zone 1. Well, I've got an idea. It's one of those learning curves, and I kind of really like. It was like when I started Titanicus. I was actually really, really bad when I started Titanicus. I couldn't win a game for love nor money. And then gradually it was a complete joy to learn the system, and to really get my head around it. And that's what I feel about Drop Fleet.
Similar to what I found with Drop Zone.
Yeah. And Drop Zone again. It's
figuring out that movement and everything for the first few turns.
It's a funny game, isn't it, with Drop Zone? Because trying to teach it to people, they can often feel like you're losing quite arbitrarily. When in fact, if you're playing someone who knows how to play, I expect you had this in your second game with Fleet. So you're losing because of a mistake you made 3 turns ago.
Oh yeah.
And your opponent noticed that and capitalized on it. It feels like now, oh, why am I outgunned? Why am I surrounded? Why can't I get through their armor and so on? It's because of a mistake you set yourself up for several turns ago.
Yeah.
But you only learn that by playing lots of games.
Yeah, completely. And it's like I really enjoyed the opportunity to learn those mistakes. But with Drop Fleet 2, when it drops, right?
Hey.
I'm expecting
Drop fleets in, you say?
Yes.
Ah.
I'm expecting some changes and some significant changes, where I will probably. I mean, it's one of those systems where you could feasibly get pretty much the whole roster, and it not cost you a huge amount. It's not a huge investment. Like if you compare it to say, I mean, of course, I'm going to mention 40k. Like having 3 of every unit in 40k is just a mammoth.
Any full scale GW war
Yeah.
game, basically 40k, AOS, 30k.
Oh
It's
yeah, heresy. Yeah.
yeah, like if you want to be able to have all those options, it's going to cost you hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Whereas Drop Zone and Drop Fleet are both the same kind of thing, where you can pick up. I think Fleet's a bit more expensive, but not by a massive amount. You can pick up a blister pack, right? You can add that
Mm.
to your fleet or to your army, and it'll be significant. So yeah, you can get the whole roster quite easily. Which I
Yeah.
guess that is a point for Drop Fleet. Are you thinking of going? What's the how to put it? Going deep and getting all the entire resistance roster, or going wide and getting a second fleet?
Oh.
Because
Oh
I know for
wow.
Drop Zone, you've just done the latter.
Mm. Yes, because I have just picked up a Shaltari, my first Shaltari. So I have done the test scheme. I've
Atari Drop
done
Zone here.
the
Yeah,
drop
not
zone.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've done the test scheme. Um, I've painted up the first couple of models, and I kind of, again, because we're delaying the drop fleet until the second edition drops.
Mm.
I decided I'm going to jump into the Shaltari just because I want a bit of a variety.
Yeah.
Um,
You want the
and
horrible, silly passives instead.
yeah, yeah, I do. I really enjoyed borrowing the Shaltari, so I kind of want some of my own. So I will be investing in that. We will have another army on the channel for you Drop Zone fans.
So it's always like the law of having
Essentially.
passives.
Yes.
Always like the law of winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will actually, once, well, fairly soon, in theory, have all the armies covered because I've just got a Scourge army.
Ooh, I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Shortly after the tournament, decided, you know what, a bit of variety would be nice. So I've got the starter box and both the armor boxes on their way. Because my UCM are pretty much done. There's not many units I don't have.
Don't have one of the big behemoths.
Well, funny you should mention that as well, because I do have the America Heavy Battle Mech on my desk waiting to be built. So that'll be coming at some point in the next couple of months, I expect. I'm not sure how high a priority it is. But that's kind of the capstone to my UCM collection, bar like a couple of units here and there. But then, yeah, Scourge, looking at it, the starter box and the armor boxes they just make a really nice army out of the box. Some of the armor boxes are better than others for the different factions, but the Scourge ones are both just really good. So I should be able to start playing full proper Scourge games fairly soon, in theory.
Right.
I can't
Oh.
wait to have a movement speed.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. And
Meanwhile,
infantry that win fights.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for triangles in both systems for a second army. Because you two have just left me with triangles now. It's the only faction left in both systems.
That's not fair. I said I wanted triangles. You said no, I want triangles. So I said okay, I'll get Scourge.
Yeah, and like I said, you've left me with nothing but triangles. I am still correct. You've left me with nothing but triangles.
You're technically correct, I suppose.
You can cover Scourge and UCM in Drop Fleet, and I'll cover PHR and Triangle.
Yep. I'll be curious to see if there's a launch box for Drop Fleet, and if so, what it is, because it'll presumably be triangles versus somebody.
Might be no, not PHR, UCM, because I think they showed off at somewhere Games Expo ? No, or wherever they showed off last time.
Yes, they did. It's actually a good point.
Plastic, lots of plastic or some plastic triangle ships, and also some plastic UCM ships. I don't know if they showed off any others, but
I don't remember seeing any others, so I think you might. No, there was some Scourge, I think. I think
Okay.
there's some plastic Scourge as well.
Maybe they've done some for. I mean, I assume they've probably redone all the starter boxes, and are probably making a new two-person starter that is triangles versus someone.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they've redone. I think we saw little up to medium-sized ships, which are something class at Sophie. Well, what is a medium-sized ship in?
It'd be a cruiser, I expect.
I think we saw some plastic cruisers.
I think
So
so. I don't
plastic,
think we... God.
plastic cruisers, I kind of expect we get plastic cruisers anyway. Not all the
Oh.
cruisers are plastic, I should say, but maybe battle cruisers. They're the sort of
I think it's all the
ships
smaller
that-
stuff that was coming plastic
Yeah.
that we're missing at the moment, like Corvettes and I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's what
I don't-
think I
Corvette.
saw, yeah.
I don't know what small ships are in drop fleet. I'm just naming words that I've heard.
Dinghies,
Gunboats.
rowboats.
Yes, plastic lifeboats.
Yes.
Maybe I'll pick my triangles in RNLI scheme.
We're here to rescue you.
Orange with just blue stripes down them.
Yes, we're here to turn you into Biostrip, basically.
Please do not resist. I'm here to rescue you.
Have you seen the video on the lore of the bioofficers?
Yeah, the bio officers.
Sort of. I watched the pretty pictures because I was working, so I watched with the sound off.
Yeah,
So not really, no.
it's kind of like they just quite enjoy fighting, but they're like technically advanced. I'm not gonna say orcs, but they do just enjoy the fight, which made me giggle.
I did see that, yeah, that apparently
Yeah.
the war has woken them up, and they've gone, that looks like great fun. Or not great fun, but we're going to come join in.
Oh, the war, you say? That's just a funny way of pronouncing war.
This often happens in our drop zone, drop fleet community. People will get into lengthy, very heated debates as to which faction of the Tau and which faction of the Eldar. There's a bit more to it than that, but you can see some similarities.
Really, it should be broken down to which Rumble Slam team they are, but you know.
Speaking of Rumble Slam,
Yes.
segue, how is Rumble Slam coming along? Because I know that you've both now got a starter box, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes. So mine is being painted.
Oh,
and
good.
it's that's where I am with it. I think I've painted 3 out of 10 of them. I've kind of just the Shaltari went to the top of the queue, but I've kind of relaxed into that color scheme now. And actually, it won't be. It's quite another little nice hobby that I can get done. So I've been getting along with that. So again, coming soon.
I've got the starter box, which I haven't painted at all. But I do have my dinosaur team, the Triassic 5, which are mostly painted other than the pink axolotl.
Mm.
And I do have, on top of that, a ring that I'm painting up.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you pick up one of the MDF ones then?
Yeah, I picked up an MDF ring.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So soon there will be
That'll be
Rumble
good.
Slam on channel. Yeah.
Yes. It looks like I'll probably get a team eventually myself. I've got so much other stuff to do, but eventually I'll get a team.
It's a really fun, really easy game to play.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those games that gets worse by having a third team in there.
Right, so we could maybe do 3-player games at some point.
Yes.
One of the things that appealed when I saw you guys playing Rumble Slam, and it's a sign I'm getting old, is that you can play it while sitting down.
Yeah. You can play it sitting down, and you can play it at a pub.
Pathetic, but it's yeah, you can play it on a small table at the pub, sat down. Those are all 3 major selling points for a game as a 34-year-old.
Yeah, the actual mat is about a foot by a foot. And then you need 5 cards, a couple of dice, and a couple of tokens, and that's about all you need.
Nice. So yeah, we will be having that on the channel fairly soon. I guess as soon as we can get you two in the same room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I suppose that's kind of. Does that bring us all up with our?
Well, there's one. Isn't there one more game in the Rumbleverse?
There is one more game in the Rumble Slam cinematic universe, which is Carnival or Rumble Splash, which I've been working on. We should actually say we should be thankful. TT Combat did send us a Rumble Slam starter box, a Carnival starter box, a paint set, and some resin terrain for Dropzone. So that terrain I'll be working on soon. There'll be some videos, or there'll probably be a Patreon article about how I painted them. But I have fully painted the Carnival starter box as well.
Ooh.
So we've got 2 small Carnival teams. I'm also working on some terrain for that. I'm probably going to end up being as ambitious as the MDF drop zone board, so a full board of loads of MDF train. MDF train?
MDF
terrain.
trains in Venice?
Yes, MDF trains in Venice. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm excited to see this board.
But yes, that will be a labour of love I'll be working on for a while. But we do have the parts to do a an introduction to Carnival, a demo of the intro box maybe. So we'll do that at some point when I can convince one of you to play with me. But they've
Yeah.
been fun to paint. The models are really nice. The TT Combat paints were lovely as well. Again, I'll write some stuff about what it was like.
It didn't come with any nice pinks, did it?
It didn't come with any pinks, no.
Bugger.
But the paints they're not quite single pigment, but they are really, really saturated paints. Again, I painted these 8 models in quite different color schemes using literally just this box of, I think it's 10 paints. And yeah, they're really vibrant. They mix really nicely. They flow off the brush nicely. They are genuinely really nice paints. I'll be using more.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
If TT Combat wants to send me either some really nice pinks or triangles.
Triangular paints.
Triangular paints.
Okay.
Or pink triangles, or...
I'll email them and just let them know that I'm not entirely sure what Dan means. He wants pinks or triangles.
Or both.
And he won't stop asking, so please send him something.
Please, for the love of God. Otherwise he's just going to keep going. And getting louder.
And closer.
And louder.
But yeah, I think that does more or less cover everything. Oh, the only other thing to mention is that a common point that lots of people said at this Drop Zone and Drop Fleet event, because it wasn't a combined event, it was 2 entirely separate events being run next to each other. The idea being, if you don't play one system, you can walk over and have a look at the other. You can vote for your favorite fleet and favorite army, regardless of what system you're playing. You can mingle, and it's all very nice. But both Gareth and myself had about half a dozen people say, "This is very cool. Could you not do it again, please?" Because I would like to go to both. I don't want to have to pick which one to play, which in hindsight makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So
maybe we might not have lost Sophie.
Yes.
There we go. Words.
She doesn't have a choice to play something else. She'll play with us.
I mean, you guys realize I've only ever done one Drop Zone Commander event, which was our first one.
Yeah, you did the first one. You couldn't make the second one, and you defected for the third one.
Yeah.
But you're coming to the 4th one in October, aren't you?
So, guys, wrapping. Yes, I will be there. I will absolutely be there. I may even have the Shaltari or the it'll be the Shaltari or Resistance. Yeah, it won't be any other armies. But yeah, I might see what the roster is and maybe put together the less popular list.
Yeah. I think a couple of people are planning to do that. So we might ironically end up with everyone switching to their off faction and then have the same problem. But we'll make it work. Either way, yeah, so Weapons Free 4, yes, is going to be on the 28th of September, again at Firestorm in Cardiff.
And that's the Drop Fleet.
That's the Drop Fleet, and then Danger Close 3, which is the Drop Zone event, will be on the 12th of October, also at Firestorm in Cardiff. There'll be a link to buy tickets in the description. I'll be making lots more terrain and posting about it on Instagram and on Patreon and so on.
You'll probably see it on the channel.
I'm writing. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But if you're keen, you can get a ticket now, and there'll be a link in the description. It'll be lovely to see you.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I didn't mean you, obviously.
Oh, fine. How rude.
And I'll be there.
And Sophie will also be there. I might even get to play, which would be a novelty, because I have not played in... I've only played in one Drop Zone event.
Oh.
I say that I don't actually mind. It's quite nice just wandering around, answering rules questions, taking photos.
Well, there we go. There's some questions for you. What would you do different next time, Alex?
Okay, what would I do differently? Some of the missions need refining.
Mm.
I did write a couple of missions with help, so this is shared responsibility. Where we thought up some really fun mission mechanics on paper, and then it turns out when you try to play them for game 3 of a 3-game tournament, uh, your brain melts because there's too many special rules. So some of the missions do need simplifying. That's one thing I would do. I would make sure we have a bit more space. There was a bit of confusion between me and Firestorm where I think I originally asked for 10 tables in case we got 20 players, but thought we'd have still plenty of space for the additional tables, and we didn't. They saw that we had 12 players, they gave us 6 tables. But we needed to set out 8 tables to cover all different mission possibilities, so people were knocking elbows the entire event. It was a little bit intimate, so a bit more space would be nice.
Mm.
Honestly, though, that's about it. Like, it went down really well. People had fun. It was a really nice, chill atmosphere. The only thing I guess is I would try and stress that it's an event more than it's a tournament. Like, it's really not that sweaty. Some people are bringing their best lists and fighting their hardest, sure, but you're playing silly narrative missions. No one's trying too hard. It's not that gritty a system. So yeah, maybe in the marketing, I'll try and stress that it's beginner friendly and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the whole, though, it was a really good event, and thank you to everyone who came.
Yeah, it's
Obviously,
lovely.
there's no point running an event if no one shows up. So thank you to everyone who attended, and hopefully you'll all come to the next one.
Yes. And
Yes.
for next time, I'm going to make you a nicer list submission or a score submission
Oh yes, God, yeah, please
form,
do.
so you don't have to keep dealing with paper.
Docs.
And
Yes.
just have a nice QR code instead.
Yeah, in the year of our Lord 2024, handing people paper score sheets and then trying to do the scores on Google Docs, on Google Sheets, is stupid, and I shouldn't have done it.
And
But,
also
yeah,
running around
time
screaming
doing
for 2
score
pencils. Begging for 2 blunt pencils from First. One of which
Yeah, 'cause
probably got lost.
I packed literally everything we could possibly need, except for pens and pencils. So I gave out these scorecards. No one could fill them in.
Because no one else brought pens or pencils either.
That reminds me. I could bring a bloody pencil in the mission pack.
Except we're not going to need them for next time because we're doing an online score thing.
But we just in case. I think that's all I got. Anything else you guys want to add about Dropzone or Drop Fleet or in general?
Any of the systems we play. We don't play any Games Workshop anymore.
We do a bit.
40k is dead. AOS is dead till new edition. We play Heresy sometimes.
I Heresy
do.
sometimes. I played Titanicus against a friend of the channel, Dougie, yesterday, which was lovely. It was just him and me, so we had no supervision at all.
Oh.
So probably find the cameras upside down, the mics weren't turned on, and we forgot all the rules. But it was fun.
Oh, there's no one there to remind you which one's the input and the output for the microphones.
Oh God, it's the grey one, right?
Is it the grey jack or the light grey jack?
Oh, I know. But that will probably be. I'm not sure it will be up before or after this. But we played one of the missions from his Lugar tournament we went to, and got to play on the bridge board he brought down. It was very fun. He brought a very fun, silly, fluffy list for the Warmaster, and I brought Side Titan.
See, one of these people wants to have fun.
I'm not proud of myself.
Good.
It was a close game. I'm not going to spoil it. We did both have fun, but I haven't got the Side Titan out for a year, and it should probably now stay in the cabinet for another year.
Good.
It's silly.
Good.
Yes. Other than that, yes, as you said, we haven't filmed Heresy in a while, but I'm sure we will again soon. Are you getting any of the plastic ad Mac, Dan?
I might pick up the start. I might pick up the starter box when it comes out. I'm undecided yet because I'm kind of all in on bots, and you kind of need to go all in on bots or not bother with them, really.
Yeah, it's good you play one list or the other, don't you? Really?
Yeah, like bots are kind of bad unless you go all in on bots.
Oh, tell you what, we haven't done because we had a scheduling conflict. Sophie, we still haven't had a Primarch off.
We haven't.
We have off camera.
Yes.
Well, we haven't for you people at home. I have finished painting, Lehman Russ himself. You've obviously got Horus, so we need to have them have a good scrap. And I think there's a mission for it, isn't there, where Primarchs state? I can't words. Primarchs start in the middle of the board fighting,
Mm.
and the rest of the army is closing around them. So we'll definitely have to do that at some point.
Yeah, it should be a good
Yes.
one. And I should probably bring the Custodies back on the channel at some point.
Yes, you
Yes.
should.
Or paint my knights.
You've had
Oh.
them on the bench for months at this point, haven't you?
Years at this point.
Oh dear.
They're mostly painted. It's just need to finish them off. There's just not much motivation for knights. I've got an Atropos unbuilt.
We will also do some AOS content at some point. Like, it's not our focus. We have kind of pivoted quite hard into Dropzone.
The Rumbleverse.
And the Rumbleverse, yes. But we will do some Age of Sigmar. I think at time of recording, the rules are coming out being staggered throughout next week. And everything should be out by the end of the week, maybe, sometime around then. I've not followed it as much as I should. But obviously, Soph and I will do some AOS content at some point. Dan, you've got your Fire Slayers.
Yep. And the Undead Fire Slayers.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures of the definitely Fire Slayers up in their current state here.
It was a very funny time.
It was very, very funny. Have we told the story? I can't remember.
I
No.
don't think we have.
No. I convinced Alex that I would give AOS a taster game again. That I'd bring my Fire Slayers along and I'd go and do 750 points. Little did he know that I'd secretly bought the what are they called?
Flesh Eater Courts.
Flesh Eater Courts, that's the one. I can't remember the name of them now. Secretly bought the starter box thing that came out a while ago for them, built them up, put them out on the table, and it took Alex about 3 minutes to notice they weren't alive dwarves.
So, I don't know if I told you this, Dan, but I spent the night before studying Fire Slayers on Wikipedia so I could help you get through the rules if you didn't know them very well, so I could make sure you get the most out of your army.
That was fully my intention, and it made it a lot funnier.
Excellent. Good. Glad to hear it. It was very funny. So yes, you do have your Fire Slayers in inverted commas.
Well, it's the lore of my my Flesh Eater Courts. They think they're Fire Slayers. Noble Fire Slayers.
Yes. We'll have them on the channel at some point, I'm sure. I've still got they keep getting kicked down the road as something to do later, but I've still got my Karajan Overlords to do. I did assemble and start painting the Underworlds team, so I got it like a proof of concept, 5 models, but then Dropzone interrupted me, and I ended up painting terrain for that instead. But I'll come back to them. I'm sure once I play a couple of games of new edition of AOS, I'll be hooked, and then that's all I'll paint and all I'll talk about for a few months.
Maybe I'll even want to play it.
And I'll even maybe get you to play it.
Hooray, me.
But I think that does now cover all our systems.
But wait.
Maybe. But wait, what have I forgotten?
Soph's been playing some Blood Bowl, painted some Blood Bowl recently.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, I have.
Yes,
yeah,
you have.
we were a birthday present from Do, a beloved friend.
Which birthday?
Not the point.
It was Alex's birthday.
It was definitely Sophie's. Just asking which of her birthdays it was, because it wasn't the most recent one.
It was
Sorry,
the
Seth,
most
carry
recent
on.
one. It
Was
was
it?
the most recent one. Yes.
Oh, my apologies.
Alex, you slander her.
Painted. Yes, so I'll try and get some nice photos of those, but I've kind of really been pushing the painting on those, which inevitably made me to do a few of them and go, oh, these take a bit of time. I'll paint something else. It's exactly what I've done. So yeah, it's they're just a little personal project, but I'm really happy with how they've come out. So you can see some photos of those.
That's still a hobby, isn't it?
Maybe we'll learn to play Blood Bowl and play it on the channel.
Yeah. We've all got teams.
None of us have played the new edition, though. Or unless Soph's you played the new edition.
I have played the new edition, yes.
Oh, there, you can teach all of us how to play Blood Bowl.
We've all played Blood Bowl online, and I'm still convinced nobody actually likes Blood Bowl. They just occasionally enjoy a Blood Bowl happening to somebody else.
Yeah, which is why we play it. That's
It's
why we play it.
100% Schadenfreude.
Yeah, that's exactly why. A league is the best way to play it, because you can experience other people suffering.
Okay.
And someone suffers less than everyone else and wins. And someone else suffers slightly less and loses the entire thing.
Kind of funny.
I suppose the final point then is with our patrons. Like Alex said, we have started regularly posting articles. We will continue to do so. These will be tacticas, painting guides, little random opinion pieces. I'll be chucking up, or it should be up very soon, just about battleships. I just want to talk about battleships. It's a ride.
Like real battleships or drop fleet
Do you
battleships?
know what? That's for our patrons to find out. So if you do want to get
we'll have to have a look
involved in
later.
this content, some of this will be available to all of you, and some of this will be available to our patrons. They do support the channel, they do keep the channel going, and it is the low price of, I think it's £1.50 a month that we is our pledge. So it's very accessible.
50p
But
each.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And let's not take that any further.
Sorry, I interrupted there. Carry on.
But yeah, so do get involved in the Patreon, and we will be there will be some more stuff that we are working on in the background coming to the Patreon soon.
Yes.
So I think that's wrapping up. That's everything from me, certainly.
Everything from me.
Probably everything from me.
So thank you very much. Do please consider subscribing to the channel as well, and as well as our Firestorm affiliate link. So anything you buy through there gets your usual FLGS discount, but it also helps give the channel a kickback. And again, all your drop fleet, your drop zone, your Rumbleverse can be bought through there. So in which case, it's goodbye from me, Sophie.
Bye from me, Alex.
And bye from me, Dan.
And it's goodbye from the barrel.
You
We're
can't
waving.
see
You
it.
can't
We're all,
see us, but we're
yeah,
waving.
we're all waving.